It's time for a PSA return. Alright, what's up everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in. It's been a while since I recorded a video, to be honest. I think last week I just uploaded a short, and soon I'll be doing my summer recap for my full-time Pokemon kind of escapade. But let's go ahead and check out this 45 card submission in no particular order other than how I pulled them out of the box. So first up, I can clearly see that this is not a Pokemon card, but we have my first ever graded Dragon Ball Z scorecard. So this is a pretty cool one. This is called Trunks the Powerful, and it hit a PSA 8. So honestly, with DBZ score, it's tough to grade this stuff, to be completely honest with you. So like an 8's not too bad. And in all honesty, I think I'm going to end up cracking this out and resubbing it to CGC anyways, because they recently started grading these. And since this is purely a collection item, I feel like I would rather have it in like the better looking slab. Plus like the black border I think just suits the new PSA stuff a little bit better. So, or the CGC stuff a little bit better. Obviously that's not, you know, considering resale value or anything of that nature. But let's go ahead and looks like we're into some Pokemon. So, oh nice, Gyarados, Gem Mint 10. So I think I subbed off like somewhere between 10 and 20 of these things. Obviously I'm looking for like a pretty high gem rate. I bought like 18 and I only sent the ones that I thought were tenable, so this should be pretty smooth sailing, and I'll go ahead and move past these. Oh, looks like we're into some Yu-Gi-Oh now, and the only Yu-Gi-Oh I sent off, oh, we're saving this guy. We're saving that one for sure. So that is the Elemental Hero Phoenix Enforcer Ultimate Rare that I pulled from the same booster box as this, the Enemy of Justice OCG box. We'll go ahead and check out the Dreadmaster now because I'm not as like concerned or excited about it, and it hit the Gem at 10. That's a good sign, folks. That's a very good sign. So this is just the ultra rare, so nothing like too insane in terms of value or anything like that, but it's still a sick card. And looks like we have some more OCG. Oh nice. So I sent off a lot of super rares from Curse of Anubis because I got like basically an opened box of mint cards, and it looks like we're getting some 10s out of it, so that is always good to see. Curse of Anubis is a Series 2 OCG booster box, so it's not quite as rare as like all the Series 1 sets, but it's got some cool cards. Light Force Sword hit the PSA 9. That one's kind of a bummer. I took a shot on these. I don't think that they're going to be incredibly value or liquid in a 9, but someone might want them in a 10. OCG is pretty niche in general, and by OCG I mean just Japanese Yu-Gi-Oh! Pretty niche in general, not a lot of like North American consumers, to be honest with you. Hey, a Gem Mint 10 on this Light Force Sword, but it's really cool and I enjoyed a ton. It's a very cheap, irrationally cheap alternative to the TCG, and looks like we got stuck with 2 9s on Light Force. So we'll see. Maybe I'll just be giving those out to customers who've been buying a lot of OCG from me or whatever. Anyway, we also have a couple vending series cards mixed in here. I kind of regret sending this stuff just because PSA can be super finicky on vending, and also it's not like very valuable or liquid. Shit. And it looks like they're going to be like 6s anyways. Yeah, this is going to be I don't have a good feeling about these vending cards. Honestly, I had regretted sending them anyway for quite a while. Here's a Darkness Ablaze Scizor. We got the Gem Mint 10, so that's pretty sick. That's a PC card as well. Nothing too valuable or whatever, but it's a nice, solid art. Okay, so this is kind of a cool one. This is a stamped Japanese promo. Obviously, we have Professor Sycamore as a full art, and we got the Gem Mint 10. Nice. So last I checked, this was like a pretty valuable card in PSA 10. I think that, who was it? I think Scott Pratt. So SM Pratt may have had like the lowest list on eBay, and I want to say it was like either $200 or $400. I was a little bit worried if this would get the 9 or 10. I think back centering, but it looks like PSA let it slide. I mean, it's not poorly centered by any means. It's definitely within the parameters, but you never can tell. It seems like the one card you really want to get a 10 on sometimes gets shafted, so luckily that's not how it works out this time. More English. Oh, Blastoise from Crystal Guardian. So I picked this up from my LGS at the very start of summer. I figured to get like an 8 or a 9, and it looks like an 8, so that's kind of a dud, but that's how it goes. I think that it'll still attract some eyes. I'll probably have that with me at Charlotte Collecticon, which this submission really came in clutch for. It's not the best submission for Collecticon, but it's like is 40 more cards plus or minus that I'll have. Looks like we hit the Gem Mint 10 on the full art Gengar Mimikyu. That one is very nice. My camera looks like it's struggling a little bit, so I apologize in advance. But this is an absolutely beautiful card. The texture on the Japanese version of these cards is so nice. I'm sure I don't have to tell all of you that, but looks good. And now we have the hyper rare Venusaur Celebi. This one's pretty sick. You can still pick this card up for a pretty reasonable price, in good condition, and it looks like we got the 10 on it too. So those two cards alone pretty much make me feel a lot more confident in the submission from like a reselling point of view, because they should be pretty liquid cards. They're obviously popular Pokemon. So this is a Cyrus from V-Star Universe, or Boss's Orders. This just was a freebie and like some other purchase that I got, and it hit the 10, so hopefully that will be a nice little cushion. I'm seeing some vending pop up, so this is dangerous. So here we have the extra rule deck exchange, and we got the PSA 8 on that, which is super random. I don't exactly remember how these vending cards were distributed. I'm not sure if they're like the peel off sheets or whatever, but one would presume that they're all acquired in a similar manner. So it's really weird that these grades seem to be all over the place. But whatever, I mean, I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. I kind of knew right after sending the sub that it was kind of a sketchy call. Looks like we hit a 9 on one of these. That I would constitute as a failure, so bummer. That's the type of card that we just like auction off or whatever to get rid of it. Looks like we're reeling in some more 10s though. Honestly, I expect a lot of 10s on these hyper rare Gyarados because I did pre-grade them and I sold the rest raw on eBay. This would be a cool one having a 10 just because there's a lot of fans of like Imakuni, but of course it hits the 9, so pretty random there. It seems like Old Back it's not quite as bad as it was a few months ago to be sending from like, just obviously this isn't a very good sample size because there's like maybe less than 10 Old Back Japanese cards in this particular sub, but just from what I've seen from like a myriad of people, some people are hitting 10s. I've hit 10s in my recent subs, so it just can be a little hit or miss, it seems. We've got the Cerulean Cave card, hit the PSA 9. I wasn't even showing the grade on that one. I mean, 9s are fine. I'll probably break even on those, but everything else is pretty much trash. Here we have the 3v3 hitting the mint 9. Kind of a bummer. All right, next up, this one's cool. Imakuni's Corner. Hey, we hit a gem mint 10 on that. That's solid. Okay, cool. So I think that this is just like an interesting looking card in general, so like it'll get some attention from people. I do really like the backs on these, the set of cards or whatever, because we just have like a lot of OG Kensugamori artwork. So that one's nice. I'm happy to have these in 10s, but I will definitely pass on 9 and below. So here we have the 4 prize battle, hitting the mint 9 again. Very unfortunate, and this is probably a Gyarados hitting the gem mint 10. So we're doing well on 10s with the Gyarados so far, which is kind of nice. I'm going to go ahead and clear up my space a little bit, and then we'll keep running this back. All right, so we're going to dive into our last stack here. Looks like we have some more Old Back Japanese, and then, of course, please, for my sake, don't forget about the Ultimate Rare. The centering on the back actually looks pretty atrocious on that, which does not have me feeling too good. Especially after these vending grades, so hopefully they didn't stick me with a 9, but here's another PC card. So Dark Scizor hit the mint 9, that's pretty fair. It would have been really cool to have this in 10, but oh well. I'm less pressed to like flippantly sell it or whatever, because it's in a 9, so it's obviously like less valuable and less liquid, but it is what it is. Okay, anyway, should be another Gyarados hitting the gem mint 10. Love to see it. I think those are each like between $50 and $70. So here's my last Mewtwo and Mew GX. I at one point had like 30 of these, I don't know, somewhere around that number, and I've just like slowly been selling them over time because they've always been kind of profitable in like a 10. For a while they were even profitable in like CGC 9, which is wild. This copy has like a little impression up here just from like how it was stored in the tin. I don't even know if my camera is going to be able to pick it up, but it's like the slightest divot. I wasn't sure how PSA was going to rule it. I wouldn't mind keeping this one for myself just because I'm a big fan of the card, but if it 10s, which probably shouldn't, it would be a lot harder to not sell. Damn it. I guess that's a good problem to have. I sold my last 10 for like close to $200, and it looks like now I have another one, so I don't know. Maybe this is like, whatever. We'll deal with that one later, but it's a cool card. One of my favorite artworks, to be honest with you. It's one of those cards I wish it wasn't so valuable because then it wouldn't be as tempting to move it or whatever. Because I mean, a couple $100 is a couple $100, but at the end of the day, I'm not optimized. I've had a lot of conversations with people recently, like shout out to Retrospects. I think he revived his YouTube channel. I'm sure it's just a coincidence that he deleted all of his content right after we had a live together. A Gem Mint 10 on the Gengar Mimikyu. But anyway, like he and I chat pretty often on like Discord. One of the best collectors that I know or whatever. But in all seriousness, we've been talking about like optimizing for different things or whatever, and like a conversation that we have a lot. Obviously, I'm a collector, at least in part, but you know, I'm not like optimizing for financial gain necessarily. If I were, I probably wouldn't have like a complete Staff Champions Festival set and like all these other things, or like, you know, these cards from this return that, you know, I've already set aside for myself. Like if I were optimizing for finances, I would sell my collection and plow all that extra capital into flipping because I know that I could compound it. However, I think that there's like a fine balance to be had. I'm in a position financially where I'm definitely not wealthy. I don't have like an excess of cash, but like I'm able to afford all the house renovations that my wife and I are doing. We're ahead on our mortgage and everything like that. Very minimal debt that is close to being paid off completely. So it's like I can justify having a small like Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Dragon Ball Z collection because this is stuff that I enjoy greatly. And I think that, you know, what's the point of living life if you're not going to enjoy it a little bit? So anyway, I'll get off my soapbox. But here's another one of those cards that was just like a freebie that I received, and it looks like it hit a 10, so that's pretty cool. It's always nice when sellers on various websites send you free cards when you make a purchase, and it's even nicer when they 10 and you don't care about the card at all. All right, so this is a really cool one. If any card from like the vending set that I sent in was gonna 10, I would hope that it's this one. Honestly, I don't even know. Like, yeah, there could be like a little lip up top. They saw something on one of these they didn't like, but it looks like this one gets the green light, which is really sweet. I don't know. It's really interesting because, to be honest, and like, sorry if this is like detracting you from buying it from me, but it looks like there's like a very slight lip at the top, which these are probably peeled now that I'm thinking about it. And it could just be like from the tension at the top of the peel, or like if that's where somebody grabbed, it could have caused that like horizontal kind of, I guess it would be considered damage. Like this is, I don't know. This is a card where it's like it's either going to be a 6 or a 10, and there's not really a rhyme or reason behind why they do what they do. I mean, even looking at it, like gauging front centering would be tough, but I've probably talked about that card enough. You probably get the idea there. But anyway, I'm very happy that one hit a 10 because it's probably the most valuable card from the set, whereas like we're hitting 8s on stuff like this, which whatever. I mean, it's all about balance. Like it's the law of averages at play. So here we have the Pokemon Mansion hit a 10 as well. It would have been cool to have all 3 of these in 10, but with that said, not really. I don't care too much about this. Like this by all means is an ugly card in my opinion. It just has like very small Pokemon sprites. Cool back, but then just a bunch of like random informational text. So I'm not going to lose any sleep over selling those, but I'm thankful that I got a 10, so I'm not losing my ass. Probably our last Gyarados, if I had to guess. It looks like we've got one more vending, one more new back, and then my elemental hero. So this one's cool because it's the Safari Zone with Scyther on it. I don't think that this is included in the Scyther set registry, but I hit a 10, and I probably won't be in a rush to sell it just in case that ever changes. So that one's pretty sweet. Obviously, I'll go back to the artwork. I guess I didn't really highlight it, but I'm not a big fan of like Nidorina or Nidorino, but I did like Nidoking and Nidoqueen. I usually played those a lot because like you could evolve them fast, and then they would help like be supportive of like the Pokemon that took a lot longer to level up in the game, whatever. But this is the artwork, obviously from EX Team Rocket Returns. This one was used a lot in like a lot of the non-TCG cards back in the day. So, anywho, looks like we have our last Pokemon card. This is a Surfing Pikachu, which is pretty cool. I thought that this one might have had a print light or whatever, but it's a Pikachu promo, so I sent it anyways, and we hit a 9, which kind of blows. But really cool hollow pattern on that, if I'm being honest, because it's like the wave just hits so right. But yeah, I mean, somebody at Collecticon will take this for like $30 or whatever, I'm sure, so it's not a complete loss. I'm really surprised I didn't have any Scythers in this submission. I've been trying to send one in every sub, at least, but here we go. Here's my Elemental Hero Phoenix Enforcer. I pulled this myself, and we hit a Gem Mint 10. That is so sick. This card is, like, in terms of foiling, this is, like, one of the top-tier OCG alties, in my opinion, especially from, like, Series 3, which, obviously, the Series 2 alties, and sorry if I'm nerding out on something you don't care too much about, but the Series 2 alties are really cool because it's a lot of monsters that we never got in that rarity in English, But the Series 3 altis in Japanese, like some of them are far superior to their North American counterparts. Some I would argue are even superior to the EU Unlimited stamps, so which are generally considered to be the best outside of Asian English. But honestly, like cards like this or Cyber Dragon, they look so right in Japanese OCG. So very cool note to end this submission off on. Obviously, we did hit some pretty good cards. I would say that it's a pretty good submission all in all. And let's go ahead and run the outro. And that's a wrap. You know, it's been a while since I filmed a PSA submission. This one turned out a lot better than it could have, if I'm being completely honest. The fail grade pile was not as big as I anticipated, or as big as it could have been, I should say. And a lot of this should be good padding for Charlotte Collecticon outside of like the 15 Gyarados VMAXs. But with that being said, I appreciate all of you for watching, and I really hope to see you on the next one.